Hey, welcome back. It's Jonathan. Okay, so I wanted to go back in time before we come forward because, as you may know, we were waiting for a form of low to occur in February to March time period. Now, this is for anyone who wants an update on the content we've been putting out. So, all I can say is that you go back to possibly this video here, and also we possibly move over to this video here. If you haven't already watched it, because those are the two videos that I'm going to be doing an update on today. And as you know, my videos aren't fancy, they're not cool, they're not trendy, but they give you the information that you need to actually, I guess, survive the markets. You know, we were some of the ones that were, if we go back in time, the bear market is technically confirmed. Everyone was still waiting for pumping prices, etc. We were the ones that came out early on to suggest that the market has found a top. And we're also the ones that came out early on to suggest that the market has now found a bottom. So anyone here knows that the start of this year, we were looking for a bottom to occur in this market. And, in this video here that I produced about a month ago, we had actually started looking for that bottom and for the technical indicators to confirm that that bottom was in. So let's do an update on that right now because I want to get that out there. So let's take a look at where we are. Let's go to the wiki. So on the weekly, if I just do an update on where we were in the past, what we were looking for is for 12 bars in the direction of the trend to confirm that the trend was confirmed. Now to do that, we've got to count from the lowest low, which GAN would always say is bar number 0, and would count up in this instance because we're looking for a bull market to confirm that the trend has started. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we want 12 bars in the direction of the trend with the 12th bar being the highest. So this bar here actually confirmed that we are in an uptrend. Now, as you can see, just because it confirms that we're in an uptrend doesn't mean prices can't move down. You know, we get this ebb and flow of the market, so markets can move up and down, and we did see, the sell side liquidity taken here. But I would say right now that we are in a confirmed uptrend, and anything that happens from here on out will be a confirmed uptrend until we get a confirmed downtrend. Now you're probably thinking, what the hell is a confirmed downtrend if we're in a confirmed uptrend? Well, if you go back and study, different markets and whatnot, you can get a situation where the market does stage 12 or more bars in the direction of uptrend, and then it hits the top, and then unfortunately we get 12 or more bars, happening directly after it that produce a trend down. And all that would mean would be we would take our highest high, for instance this one, and would count 12 bars into the direction of the trend until we get the 12th bar on that downward move. That could actually confirm the downtrend has, resumed. But there's a few more things that I wanted to go into. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm the one that discovered the 90-day Bitcoin cycle, and I say I'm the one that discovered it because I haven't seen anyone else talk about it. So I'm going to continue on with this cycle, and I've just updated it. I believe that the last update I had on it ended here. So I've just updated it to bring it out into the future, and we'll start tracking it from here. So if we go out, we go back in time, you'll know that we've been tracking this cycle for quite a while now, and I've been producing, very, very good forecasts with it, finding highs and lows in the markets and when they're going to occur, based on this 90-day cycle. And I've shown you how we analyze this 90-day cycle and what exactly we're looking for, based on this, I should say, Merriman cycle theory. Now, I don't want to go into the cycle theory too much, but essentially you have a starting point, a midpoint, and an ending point, and depending on where you had your peak before the midpoint would depend on, if the market was in a bullish or bearish market. And what I mean by that is, if it's in a bearish market, you'll get your peak on the left-hand side of that midpoint. If it's in a bullish market, you get the peak on the right-hand side of the midpoint. And as you can see, you've got your highs and lows for the end of that cycle, either above or below the starting point if it's a bull or bear market. So I brought the market out from here, and I've gone out from our this is the midpoint right here. So I'll show you how exactly it works. We brought the market out, so you've got your midpoint right here, you've got your ending of the cycle right here. So the market found a top and then it found its bottom, just like that on the midpoint. So top, bottom. Now if we look at the actual full length cycle, well, we have our top over here and then we have our bottom around here. So that is the cresting of the cycle. Now what you'd say is, well, what about this bottom? Oh, this bottom over here. Well, yes, this is an orb period bottom, okay? So what we have here, if I try to keep it really simple, is we have a smaller cycle playing out in here. And then over here, which I've counted as the actual cycle low, which I've counted from, where we have an extension of this cycle coming out of this orb period, which would actually, if you do the proper way of doing it, would actually invalidate this cycle and make it non-compliant with the actual rules. So we had actually a longer term cycle forcing prices down to a bottom right here, and then we had a midterm cycle forcing a low here. And what I've done is I've essentially excluded this cycle from the list, and as you can see, instead of starting the cycle from here, counting 90 degrees forward, I actually started it from here. Now if we go back in time, you'll know that I have done that a few times when the cycle needed to be reset. So this one's in it, this one's in it. There's going to be a few times where I had to recalculate, like from here, where the cycle needed to be reset because we had possibly a slightly larger cycle bringing markets lower, and we essentially had to reset that count. Now all it does is just change the probability of the 90-day cycle being accurate, but we just go in again and we start recounting again essentially. So if we are now, so if I just change the color of this cycle to a different one just so that we can track it, and we go in from this low and we're moving out to this orb period here, what we're looking for is that cresting period. So we had our top up here on the left hand side of this orb of the midpoint, and we had our low down here. That is a left translation top of the midpoint, and that essentially means that there's a high chance that the market is going to find a lower low on the right hand side. Now we have this market here create a top on the left hand side of that midpoint, but what it did is it also created a top on the right hand side of that midpoint, and what that essentially gave us was clues that the market is now likely to find a higher low on the ending of this orb period here. So what we have is this low here, technically being that low that we were looking for, and this happened on the 14th of March, which if you go back to the last videos, you'll know that we were looking for, 14th of February, which we were looking for a low to occur around the 14th of February, but the market did drag lower with the bank collapse, etc., and we got that 10th of March low before markets started to price in, possibly Bitcoin's the place to be. So what has happened here is that we've got a slight variation in this cycle here, which we need to bring out, and that's going to start our next 90-day Bitcoin cycle. Now what I would do actually in this point is I would place both of them on the chart. I would start the cycle here, and I would also start the cycle from here, and I would just watch how both of these actually played out in time. Let me just delete that one quickly. Pop it on again, because now I've got two cycles that I need to be watching, and they're very close to each other. But what's important is I need to be watching where this right or left translation of this midpoint is going to be. So we're either going to get a left translation top, which means the top's going to occur on the left hand side, bringing prices lower, or the market's going to go past this orb period, so keep moving up, or move down slightly before moving up to find a right translation top before finding a higher low of either of these points. Okay, so that's an update on the Bitcoin cycle. So let's move on, and I don't really have much to talk about because I just wanted to focus this video on primarily the 12 weekly cycles and also the 90-day cycle. But what I have to point out is that the market hasn't really retraced that 90% decline. I believe it got down to around that 80% decline, but it hasn't retraced 90% Now it doesn't have to retrace 90%, but that would be a full capitulation of the market where most people are no longer looking to buy any assets in crypto and they're sort of out, and that's the best time to be buying. But what we had is the market, sort of run to old tops, decline about 80% before sort of rallying from there. It's not the exact capitulation I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see prices come down to around this level at least. But it is what it is, and that is what we're dealing with now. So we can't rule off that the low is in. But we got 2 points that we're going to be watching, and I'll actually put them on the chart for us to be watching from here on out. So on our weekly chart, we are now going to be watching one intermediate low and now one major low moving forward. Okay, so we're going to be watching this period in here. If this is taken out, that then could send prices, down to this sort of order block area down here. Those are the two areas, those are the two support resistance areas. And that's what I would like to see. So that if the market is going to come down, it's going to find support on this level. If it does break through there, we want to make sure that this doesn't turn into resistance and sort of fall through it, if that kind of makes sense. So if it doesn't make sense, I'm going to draw it out for you right now. So if market can sort of come down here and bounce up again, or if it does fall through, we don't want it to sort of find resistance on this area here, otherwise it can fall lower. Now if I just go through and I try and find our price sheet, what I want to see here is I want to start doing a bit of price analysis for us, just so that we can keep up to breast. I have been doing some other analysis, so that's why my tools are not in my shortcuts here. So let's go ahead and just pop all these on now, and we'll want to see where we're getting price clustering. All right, we have price clustering right here. That would be a first area of resistance where we have a 50% level enacting from, it looks like, a possible low down there somewhere. We've got our ABCs. Let's see if we can find one more. I'm going to go from this area here. Alrighty. We've definitely got three price areas on three different patterns where the market is clustering in this 29 to 30,000 area. So I do expect some resistance to occur over there, which looks like it comes back into our old area back here, where the market was, where I guess in the past where we had indicated that the market is likely to find some resistance to the downside, or some support I should say. So this here is now a new price target I'll put on Bitcoin. If the market does move up into that area, I would not be looking to buy. I'd be looking to just wait out and see what's going to happen in the markets, and possibly reassess if the market's moving higher from here or lower from here. At the moment, based on current price, we then have two more resistance areas, one being here, which looks like a 38.2% level, also in line with a 61.8% all-time range. And then up here we have another old resistance support area, which is coupling in with the, or that would probably be 50%, sorry, 61.8 and then 50% down here. So that is where we're at right now. We have area number 1, area number 2, and area number 3 that we would be looking for the markets. Now just track these prices, so around 30,000, 35,000 and 42,000. Those are our exact levels that we're watching. And anything to the downside, because we're unable to find any downward momentum to be forecasting from, we'll just track these higher time frames tops and see where we go from there. Now I know a lot of people right now are calling for a downward move, and there's still a lot of people asking for that $5,000 Bitcoin price, or that $6,000 Bitcoin price. There comes a time where we have to, I guess, put it out there that possibly that ain't going to happen. And I think now that we've tracked 12 or more bars in the direction of the trend up, I would say that the probability, I'm not saying it's impossible to happen, but the probability of it declining from here is likely lower. And we've also got potential, what could be a top in the market to occur in April, and possibly if the market does top in April, a possible low that could occur in July. But we're looking for this cycle area here to be playing out to find possible tops and bottoms around this area. This is a cycle tool that I used to track potential market movements. If I just bring this out, let's take a look at what I found. So if I just condense this a bit, looks like we have a possible 2-year cycle going from low to low, low to high, low to low sort of thing. So if we track the first one out, we had low to low, second one, low to low, third one, nothing, fourth one, low to high, but it was after the collapse. Next one, low to low, and the next one could be low to low. So we could be looking for a low in July, hopefully a higher low. And this one down here, let's take a look. We had a possible breakout here, where you go out 50 months, a low, possible low, and we're now looking at a possible low. So these two trackings here are looking at possible lows in the market for Bitcoin. So we're either possibly going to get a low to high situation occur in April, and then hopefully a high low occur in July. That's sort of what I'd be looking for just based on those time sequence there. Anyway, I won't bore you anymore. We're definitely going to be trailing out our top in the cryptocurrency market to occur possibly around 2025 to 2026 timeframe. And I am basing that purely on the 18.6 year real estate cycle, okay? Now, anyone who doesn't know what the 18.6 year cycle is, I'm now going to blow off the cuffs in the next video. I'm going to go through what exactly that 18.6 year cycle is. I've kept it pretty hidden for quite a while, but behind closed doors, a lot of people know what it is. And I think it's time that I just, because I don't see myself on YouTube for much longer. You know, my videos have become less engaging. My videos have become just more about direct information, like this is what's going to happen. I'm not here to really, you know, entertain you. I'm here to actually protect you. A lot of people moon in this market, and I want to give you the best opportunity to success in this market. And that's why I just make, you know, informative videos. You know, they're not entertaining. They're not, you know, my face doesn't appear on them anymore. I'm not trying to win anyone's hearts. I'm here to just give you the facts. And I think it's time that possibly I go into a bit more on the 18-year cycle and why I think that, you know, the bottom's in and it's up from here, and the moon boys now are possibly going to be right, because I don't see why we don't get a repeat of this occurring again. I don't see why. Where we're going from $4,000 up to $70,000. I don't see why that's not going to happen. I think that the end of the cycle, which we're in now, we're in that 18-year cycle, and the cycle, just so you know, the cycle started in 2012, 2011, 2012 time period. You go forward 18 years, and that gives you the end of the cycle low. So low to low, for example. We're now entering that final phase of the cycle where everyone is going to go maniac. Everyone's just going to be buying everything. And I do see Bitcoin, you know, breaking this level, going up into the 100,000 level, 200,000 level in the end of the cycle peak, and just busting, just crashing 80-90% after that. So I would say that you have one final chance to make your money, because this is it. If you don't make your money in this current run, you know, protective stops. You know, make sure that if you're buying here, for example, you're getting out of the market at the 19,000 level, you're getting out of the market at the 14,000 level, because you're not here to, you know, lose everything. You're buying in at low levels, and you're going to exit the market if the market breaks lower, because you're going to protect your assets from, you know, declining. But if you haven't made money in crypto yet, this is your final chance. And I think that this is the one where you have one last chance, one last hope at possibly breaking free of financial barriers in life. Because this market, property, stocks, cryptocurrency, are going to go through the moon before this economy collapses one final time, and we are ushered in central bank digital currencies, which would essentially outlaw alternative currencies. All currencies would then be possibly traded on some form of government regulated exchange, such as what ASICs would bring out, or I don't know, the American market, or FTC or something like that. Some sort of government or regulated exchange where Ethereum is traded. It's traded in a regulated manner, and there would be no regulation for currencies that are traded on decentralized exchanges that are not government backed, and that would just be like cowboy land. It'd be like over-the-counter derivatives or something like that. So this is it. I wish you well. I'll probably touch base again once I get more confirmation on what's happening around the lows that we just pinpointed here, or on the other chart, these tops. But until then, I do wish you well, and we'll see what happens over the next 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. I'll talk to you soon.